When did someone's destructive behavior actually prevent a tragedy? The call came during my overnight shift at the hospital, and when I saw the downtown precinct number, my blood went cold because Ryan was supposed to be at that concert with his friends watching his favorite band perform for 20,000 people. The desk sergeant was telling me that my son had been detained for inciting mass panic and federal terrorism charges. I begged my supervisor to cover my shift and drove through downtown chaos where thousands of angry fans were flooding the streets demanding refunds for the show they'd paid $300 per ticket to attend. The venue was surrounded by fire trucks and police cars, and furious concert goers were screaming at anyone in uniform about missing the performance they'd traveled across the country to witness. When I finally got through the police barricade, I found Ryan sitting in the security office with his wrists zip-tied, while the venue owner screamed about prosecution and lawsuits and lifetime bans from every concert hall in America. The owner was purple with rage as he showed me security footage on his laptop of Ryan pulling the first alarm near the main entrance, then sprinting through the crowd to pull the second one by the bar area, and finally climbing over people to reach the third alarm by the stage right as the headliner was walking out. "Your son just destroyed my entire business because we have to refund every ticket when shows get canceled for security threats, and now my insurance is void and the band is suing for breach of contract," he snarled while jabbing his finger at the screen showing 20,000 people evacuating into the streets. I turned to Ryan, who still hadn't spoken, and asked him why he would do something so destructive to the concert he'd been anticipating for months. He looked at me with those steady blue eyes and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, because in 30 minutes that ceiling was going to collapse and turn thousands of people into corpses. The security guard started laughing, but Ryan pulled out his phone and showed a video of water actively pouring through massive cracks in the ceiling beam directly over the general admission pit. I tried to tell security, but they said it was just condensation. Ryan continued while zooming in on the video where you could see the support beam bowing under tons of water from a burst pipe above. The venue owner grabbed for the phone, insisting this was fake, but Ryan tore it away from him and pulled up more videos showing the crack growing larger every minute. In the last one, you could hear the metal screaming and see chunks of concrete falling onto the crowd below. "I gave you 3 chances to evacuate properly," Ryan said to the owner, whose face was draining of color as he watched the timestamps. "I told the door security and they ignored me. Then I found your operations manager and he said it would hold until after the show. And when I tried to get on stage, your guards threw me out, so I had exactly one option left." The head of security suddenly stood up and ran to check the building structure, and when he came back 10 minutes later, his face was white as paper. He whispered to the owner that the main support beam had completely separated from the ceiling joist, and the only thing holding 2 tons of waterlogged plaster and steel was a single emergency bracket bent nearly in half. The owner stumbled backward into a chair as the fire chief walked in with his structural engineer, who announced that the building was condemned effective immediately because the ceiling would have experienced catastrophic failure within 30 to 40 minutes. "Your son saved upwards of 5,000 lives tonight," the fire chief said while cutting Ryan's zip ties himself. "That section would have crushed everyone in the pit, and the stampede would have killed hundreds more trying to escape through doors blocked by debris." The owner sat there staring at his hands while the fire chief continued explaining that the water saturation readings showed the leak had been active for at least 6 months. "You knew about this, didn't you?" Ryan asked quietly. The owner's silence was all the confirmation anyone needed. The investigation revealed that 3 contractors had warned the owner about the structural damage, but he'd ignored every report and kept booking acts knowing the building was falling apart above paying customers. My phone lit up with messages from parents whose kids had been at that concert, and one mother wrote that she'd been standing directly under that beam when Ryan pulled the first alarm. Ryan never got to see his favorite band perform that night, but last month they sent him lifetime VIP passes to every show they'll ever play.